Hi, I'm Jon Katz, producer at Warner Brothers.
So let's talk a little about Scribblenauts and how you guys have worked with DC Comics.
It was a very close collaboration. We approached DC with the idea of, we've got this game that you can, create anything that you want, and we all love the DC IP, so let's put these together and give people essentially the ultimate comic book sandbox. And from day one, they weren't hesitant or shy at all because they were luckily fans of the game and they saw the potential right away, and they're like, yes, this is going to be awesome, let's do this.
Talk about how much depth there is in terms of number of characters.
We've pulled from the DC Comics universe over 2,000 unique characters and objects.
What does that add to the gameplay experience of what is traditionally a Scribblenauts game?
Well, traditional Scribblenauts is using your imagination and your creativity to play the game. And so this just adds a whole other dimension of the comic book reality. So if you are in a situation and you're like, oh, how would Superman solve that? Well, let's find out. Let's drop Superman in there and see what he does.
Can you talk about some of the different environments that people will be using?
Sure, we visit the home locations of all the signature Justice League members. So you go to Paradise Island with Wonder Woman, and Atlantis for Aquaman, and Gotham for Batman, and just hold on the list. There's about 13, I think, locations in total. We've got several from the Batman world, a couple from the Superman world, and then all the rest of the Justice League.
How have you been pushing things forward when it comes to Scribblenauts from game to game and now with DC?
In this iteration, in the past, all the puzzles were very menu-based. It was puzzle 1-1, puzzle 1-2. When we sort of took that to the next level on the last game, where everything was in a sandbox, now we've taken it even further, where not only are all the puzzles in a sandbox, they're procedurally generated. So that means every time you load a map, the puzzles are going to be completely different. So you load Gotham, and there are 10 puzzles on there. You load it 100 more times, and it's 100 different sets of puzzles.
When it comes to superheroes, how are you playing with them when it comes to puzzles?
Oftentimes they are involved in a puzzle directly, like they have a problem and you have to help them solve it, or someone else has a problem and you can actually use a hero and their powers to help solve it.
What do you think the key to success we've seen with this game over the years has been?
I think it's just the unlimited creativity. Basically, whatever you think and you want to do, you can make, and it's constantly surprising everyone. It's constantly surprising ourselves. I've been working on the game now for 3+ years, and it's like I do new stuff every day, or I'm like, I didn't know that was in there. I didn't know I could possibly do that. And adding in characters that you've known and loved in the past, and seeing them now being able to do all these crazy things that you didn't know was possible. The cool thing that we worked on since E3 that we didn't announce was we made a digital comic based on Scribblenauts called A Battle Most Bizarre. So growing up with both comic books and video games, this has been like almost a surreal experience for me, making a video game based on comic book characters and then making a comic book based on the video game based on that comic book character that I've known and loved. So it's been great.
What is unique about this comic book that you're pulling from the video game?
Well, it's called A Battle Most Bizarre. It stars Maxwell helping Batman and Superman, who are fighting the Bizarro versions of themselves. And the Bizarros kind of play also a small role in the story of the game itself. So it's kind of like a side chapter of the main game.